Shout out Big Steve.
Shout out Michael Bisbin. Shout out Big Mike. UFC Vegas 104 back at the Apex for a poo-poo card, honestly, compared to the pay-per-view. But it is what it is. We're going to try a bet on it. We're going to try and make money. Just like last week, make do and improve on the 1,200 profit. Make March as good of a month as we possibly can. Turn the year around and then kill it from there. Before I get going, leave a comment, please. I'm going to keep this one nice and quick so I can tackle the first Cage Warriors card tomorrow. See what bets I can find. If you've got some locks, something that you've locked in or interests you, chuck it in the comments. I care more about that than likes and subscribes, etc. All right, let's get the community going. I always give my free stuff on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere. So, yeah. Other than that, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's make some cashola with the breakdowns. Now, I will say, last week, if you pay close attention, I ended up playing a lot of my leans on the day off. I played like 65% of the card, Uncle Ive and Turner, and should have played Lemos and whatnot. So if I don't have any bets today, I'm not going to spoil it. Just I will probably lock in my strong leans on the day of or tomorrow. So Yunzi Duben versus Carly Judice. Kind of felt like it's a dog or pass. I mean, it's still a dog or pass. Carly Judice, massive favorite for no reason other than she kind of looks a bit cleaner. That's literally it. And she's lost to a better level of competition. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I think she's good. I think she's improving. She's already had a UFC debut. But Duben is 28. Surprisingly, she's older than her. It's a dog or pass. It's a low-level women's fight. My gut was still saying lock it in. The noise was saying don't lock it in. Judice should smash her. Because I do agree the girl that she beat, knocked out on Contender Series, extremely, extremely hittable. She's been knocked down before, but Carly Judice is as well. But she does have a good chin. She's eating a lot of shots from Hernandez. So it's a dog or pass. I probably should have poked like the bare minimum on the early line. Now it's down to plus 275. I mean, that's if the other line had value, this line has value, But I just have the feeling like Duben is going to keep it competitive early at least. And Judice, I wrote down Judice live bet because she gets really, really in the zone. Her jabs, her backward fighting, her cardio comes through later on. So that's something we haven't seen from Duben. But I mean, even in round one, Duben has some good striking from the back foot. So it has to be competitive. I just feel like waiting for the weigh-ins for this one. And then I'll go from there. What's the under? I'll be using Bet365. The under, plus 140 for the 2.5 rounds. Might have some value. Both these girls, will finish bums. So let's move on. Jocelyn Nunes versus Priscilla Cachoeira. I taped this first because a lot of the lads, had a poke on Cachoeira. I get it. Back and forth striking fight. Nunes rarely covers this line, minus 200, unless she's knocking people out. She's already had a close fight with Farah who's not the best. She beat the shit out of Pascal and Bayamaleki. And she lost to Chelsea Chandler and Cavalcanti. Cavalcanti is the best striker she's fought. I would say both these girls fought, possibly. Very competitive. And in that fight, she showed that she has way better defense. And yeah, it's kept it competitive. Priscilla, after tape, she's so hittable. If she's fighting someone that's not going to grapple her, she usually knocks them out. Or she has a war. For example, Jinyo King or, Dobson or Lipski. But, the Lipski fight didn't really play out. Lipski, I always thought, had some chin issues, flaky issues. I don't think Jocelyn Nunes does. So this is probably going to extend. I think Jocelyn Nunes might be a little bit more active early, a bit more accurate. Priscilla, you go back to her fights with Shevchenko, and I know that's not really relevant, but those early fights, McCann, Carolina, those are the fights where you actually see her strike. And Valentina kept rocking her. Molly McCann cracked her. Luana Carolina dropped her with a head kick. So the defense is so bad that, I'd rather probably just live bet this fight. I'll live bet it, see how it's playing out. Is Jocelyn Nunes slowing down? Is it a scrap? Is it back and forth? First couple of fights of the night usually end up being the robberies. So, yeah, I mean, it's a dog or pass. I'm not making an argument for Nunes per se. I just think, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe the most common thing is what everyone else is doing. And, it's going to be a shit show striking fight with two durable girls. It's a dog or pass. And Priscilla's going to get the fight that she wants. But so is Nunes. So, we're going to tape this one some more. No strong leans. Alrighty. Andre Lima versus Daniel Barez. Now, big line on Barez, and I've faded Lima before. But, I've come to appreciate his style. He is a little bit low volume, but he's very, very composed, and he's incredibly durable. So those are things that, they go a long way. He's well-rounded. He's got great striking. He fights out of both stances. Daniel Barez, I like the guy because he just hits like an absolute truck, for flyweight, which is rare. And even for his age, 36, he rips the body. And that first round, he's a hell on wheels. He's very, very athletic, which makes him a really good fighter to play as an underdog, especially as a huge underdog. But ultimately, what's keeping me off is, he's fought two of the bottom of the barrel guys in the UFC. Hernandez, I play Hernandez in Contender Series, and then Altamirano. Hernandez was a split. I thought he was a bit hard done there not to get a win. And Victor Altamirano has been cut. And that wasn't a split, but it was quite competitive. And, he won it with 3 different moments, round 1, round 2. And he actually got dropped himself in round 3, but round 3, right at the end, I thought that was his biggest knockdown. He absolutely almost deaded Altamirano. But all the judges ultimately gave Altamirano round 3, which is interesting, I guess, volume. But the way he fell backwards and rolled his eyes rolled back, I thought that was one of his best knockdowns compared to round 1 and round 2. So, yeah, this guy's it's a dog or pass again, but I'm just trying to be selective here. Otherwise, I'll just be smashing every single dog on this card because they're all just juicy favorites. But, yeah, ultimately, Barez with the age, 36, he might have some cardio issues. He might have some durability issues. He's a bit of a fish off his back. There's a couple of fights that was proven against Hernandez when he tripped in round 2 and Camilo on the regional scene. He just didn't get up at all in round 1 or round 2. Can't remember now. But when he tries, his takedown defense is not bad. So Andre Lima, potentially by sub, it's not bad. It was a decent number. I mean, he almost submitted Felipe dos Santos. If he grapples and if he can actually get some grappling off, that would be a good line. Let me just have a look. Let me have a look. But there's also a little bit of me that's saying, Barez has to have some value. He's gonna be so quick on the feet. If he fights patiently, that's a tough one, man. Let me just have a look what Lima's paying. Lima sub plus 650. Not too bad. Not too bad, but you kind of need him to hit the takedown and you need him to go for it. Yeah. Otherwise, dog or pass. Alrighty. Sam Hughes, Stephanie Luciano. This one is not really a dog or pass for me because, I'm not really a fan of Sam. I will almost never play her pre. The only time I remember playing her pre from memory was against Elise Reed, and that was one of the most elite, Sam Hughes bets, in my opinion. I live bet her against, Pierre Rodriguez. I lost. I live bet against Victoria Dudakova, but that's because Dudakova seemed to be done after 3 minutes in round 1. I don't think Luciano has cardio issues. In fact, she comes on late. She has a really good rounds 2 and 3. She builds. She has a couple of knockouts late, I'm pretty sure, at round 2. She almost knocked out Alencar in round 3. Obviously, different scenario. Hughes has great cardio, it's what she's known for, whereas Alencar just fell apart. But yeah, Luciano's also a great striker. I like her mentality for the sport. You can just see that, she likes fighting. There's no quit in her. If anything, she might be a little bit green. She got cracked by Talita Alencar a couple of times in the rematch, where she completely shut her down. She was doing some stupid stuff, so she's a little bit green, but Sam Hughes is a good test. If she just strikes with Sam Hughes, if Sam Hughes can't take you down, she has awful, awful entries. She will get shut down. She's just kind of like an exister. She's there, she exists. She'll throw, she'll try to use her cardio, but if you're a way better striker than her, and if you can stuff a basic takedown, then you should be able to shut Sam Hughes down. So even that Dudakova fight, like round 3 was way too close. Like, why are you getting taken down by a gassed Victoria Dudakova? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's favorite or pass for me. What's the line now? And I know some money has come in on Sam. $1.40. I was kind of hoping we get to minus 200. Wow, her decision is almost minus 200. So like, not even 20 cents better. I do think she has some finishing upside. These totals, these overs are disgusting. Wow. Might as well just play the under, hope for the best. I think Luciano is going to be improving. I think she might have some potential for a finish, but who knows. All right, let's move on. Josiah Musasa versus Carlos Vega. On the early tees, I like the under 1.5 here. A couple of fights of Carlos Vela, and it's like, all right, guard puller, no thank you. We saw with Joshua Van and the Jap fella that he just fought. If they're weasels, if they just keep dropping down, they just keep pulling guard or shooting takedowns, it's hard to finish someone. I still think Vela Musasa has insane athleticism and power, and he could potentially finish Vera. I know on Contender Series, that fighter that he fought on Contender Series, I would say, is actually a better fighter than Vera. He was extremely negative. He had great footwork, lateral movement, left and right. So Musasa had to hunt him down. He was countering Musasa, and then he was great at mixing in takedowns and using his jiu-jitsu. And he still lost. Vera just doesn't have that. He just kind of doesn't have much of anything. He just has an opportunistic jiu-jitsu game that he can't even get to unless you take him down or you jump into his guard, and then he looks for sweeps, heel hooks, and jumps on guillotines. So yeah, I moved on quickly from this fight. I kind of have to hope that Vera can catch him in something under 1.5 rounds, which I'm not willing to say that's a given, or that Musasa will be more aggressive than in his Contender Series debut, and then he can knock this guy out. It's a tale as old as time, betting an under, and then Musasa drops him, lets him stand up, drops him, lets him recover, lets him stand up, rinse and repeat. So, yeah, what's the under 2.5? The under 2.5, a little bit better than minus $200, $1.60. What else we got? Musasa KO, $1.66. That's the best odds. And you get the full 15 minutes. There's got to be a little bit of potential Vera sub upside. Obviously, the kid's never lost. Round 1 KO, round 1 KO, round 1 KO, round 2 KO. That Dayada fight was his best fight, in my opinion. Round 1 KO, round 1 KO, yeah. Yeah, this Tanzilovi guy that he fought on Contender, he's gone and rebounded in UAE Warriors after that. He beat Guillermo Torres. Oh, no, Fury FC. Guillermo Torres, who was an Ultimate Fighter, really high-level wrestler. So, he's a good fighter, man. But, yeah, I don't know what to make of this fight. Maybe just some sort of finishing prop. Su Yong-yu versus AJ Cunningham, right? So the talk of the town is AJ Cunningham is dropping down for the first time. It's not the first time. He's got two bantamweight fights. One is 2016, and it was an amateur fight, I think, 2015, which is like, we're talking the guy's literally a kid. But if he thinks he can make it safely, it is what it is, Su Yong, very negative, very patient, good everywhere, good striking, good lateral movement, cerebral fighter. He will just look to hit a takedown, and his control is quite good. But yeah, I mean, I thought AJ Cunningham had some value, but again, he's one of those fighters that is going to be losing. He's going to be taken down. He's going to be hit, and his best attribute is his toughness, and eventually he will come on late and steal the fight. He had a similar fight in LFA against the Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he was getting taken down at will, but he kind of hurt him a couple times and won rounds 2 and 3. That could be live here because Su Yong-yu doesn't have the best cardio. I've seen him slow down 2 or 3 times now. He's lost one fight where he slowed down and got knocked out. I think it was in late round 3. It's live, but it would have to be some high variance on AJ's side. I think he's going to give up takedowns. He does have good get-ups, but it just depends how good is Yong-yu's control. So I kind of moved on after 2-3 fights after getting a refresher. I looked at it from an under point of view. Let me have a look. Just because I thought maybe, but the last KO Yu has gotten, which is like years ago, was a positional TKO from back control. Against a really good fighter, 25 wins and 5 losses from deep. So, Yu submission 270, Yu KO 450. That's actually not bad. That has my attention. I don't think it's going to be a sub. I think it might be more of a KO, a positional KO. The under 2.5 rounds pick him. That's also interesting. Doesn't go. He's almost minus 200. Man, both are decision machines. Last 5 fights of you have gone over 2.5. And then the one after that, and then the one after that, and the one after that. He's only had that one under, which is the one where he won via back control, ground and pound. And AJ Cunningham, for all his toughness and pressure, he's also a decision merchant. Yeah. I don't know. I think Pickham is accurate for the 2.5. Parky. Barez line is nuts. Lima not a huge finish threat and is mostly kicks on the feet. Yeah, I get you. I don't know. There's something about Barez that just screams, adversity, and he might be out of there. I don't know. But I get it early. Maybe I should just play him because early Barez is hell on wheels, literally. Musasa KO, NTT, I don't mind it. What's up, Mohammed? Glimbot, AJ decision seems nuts when you is not much of a finisher. Yeah, I don't mind that. What is that on Bet365? Yeah. Plus 1,000. SJ Pizzy, AJ has value. Yeah, I think I'll just wait to see, the weigh-ins with his first weigh-in at bantamweight in years, and see what kind of game plan you comes out with. As I said, he's very negative. Very negative. He likes to circle around. Let's see how how Cunningham handles the first couple of takedowns. Will it be instant get-ups or will he just be grounded for ages? Alrighty. Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Ryan Spann. Talk about untrustworthy fighters. Ryan Spann, one of the worst. Worst. I mean, he's a good glass cannon. I'll give him that. He can kill anyone. I think he can potentially kill Acosta, even though Acosta, great durability, both to any sort of damage, leg kicks and punches up top. But, has been knocked out twice in boxing, so you can kill him. He's not unkillable. And, who knows, maybe Ryan at heavyweight hits him in harder. Maybe he's not scared of gas. Maybe he's going to come out like a savage. And he's killed some durable dudes like Dominic Reyes, and he's got that guillotine as well, which if you make one mistake, he'll sink it up. I don't know. This is such a shit show fight because of a really volatile fighter, and I feel like if it does get out of round 1 or round 2, then you just kind of more than likely Waldo knocks him out because he has some good power, and Ryan's always been chinny, and now he's up at heavyweight. And even though Waldo hasn't really knocked out many people, he couldn't even knock out a Chinny Orlovsky. I was there for the Lucas Bresky KO. Thank goodness that he got that one. But yeah, this is a different level. I know it spans wrestling. Waldo's not really good in that aspect. That puts a bit of a wrench in things. You just don't know. You don't know what Spann's going to do. So therefore, I don't want to risk my hard-earned money on him. But the under 1.5 plus 140, it's been printing money. Spann's unders have been printing money, and they're always generous, and they always deliver up until that Gusko one. It was so juicy. I played the Gusko one, and he missed by about 40 seconds. But he hurt him. He dropped him close to that point. And I think because he grappled Gusko, that killed the whole round 1. Otherwise, they probably would have knocked each other sooner. But yeah, that same thing could happen here. He could maybe grapple Waldo, get some top time, maybe get his back, and then that might gas him out, and then it's Waldo time. Rounds 2 and 3. The under 2.5 rounds also has my attention. I might write that down because my thoughts are a little bit over the place for this card in terms of what I like. So let me write that down. Under 2.5. The only way I don't see this going, the only way it goes to the decision is if Waldo's salsa dancing like he does against Orlovsky. But let's get back to that. I remember Waldo KO being good. Plus 220, not bad. Not bad at all for Waldo KO. Alrighty. Under 2.5, minus 133 seems reasonable. Yep, stealing my stuff. Joking. Do you think heavyweight is better or worse for Spann? Who the hell knows, man? You see his photos. He looks quite pudgy around the sides. I think the weigh-ins will tell us a lot. When Kennedy weighed in at heavyweight, dude was like 240-something, which is insane. The guy was cutting 30-something pounds. And he would explain his chinniness and whatnot. But I just think Spann is a lot more lazy than that. Kennedy also didn't look much different, which means he just filled out. There's a lot of water weight. Spann is looking a lot more fat around the midsection. So, yeah, can't trust the guy. If anyone is moving up to heavyweight because they're lazy, it's Ryan Spann. Alrighty, Kevin Vallejos, Suwon Choy. I'm not going to overcomplicate this one. I know Park is going to tell me it's an insane line on Choy. But I'm just going to look at some sort of unders, kind of like the Bobby Green and Mauricio Ruffy fight, but just obviously much worse odds because the bookies know that Choy has one of the worst chins out there. The under 1.5 has closed in to almost pick him. The under 2.5 is worse than minus 200. Vallejos KO is not bad. $1.60 on Bet365. Although he has a couple of rear naked chokes, you know. I'm just trying to be careful here not to get burned, but the KO might be the way. The other 2.5 might be the way. You know, it's a bit juicy. Might just play KO. Fuck it. Yeah, he's not the biggest one punch KO hitter. He just he picks his shots. But I will say he's also incredibly durable. So I don't really know. Will Choy knock out Vallejos? He's got that brick head. I don't know what it is with all these Argentinians. You know, Prado and him, and they breed blockheads. Mohammed, unders in the Musasa fight are looking at me. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of like submission reliant. And then Musasa KO, obviously. All right, DR Nurgozhay versus Brenson Ribeiro. I taped this one just before, and honestly, I feel like DR is the first parlay piece that's really sticking out to me. The guy is very patient, technical, light on his feet, and he's one of those defensively savvy strikers. Kind of like Magomed Ankalaev, might be a little bit boring sometimes, and he's also got wrestling to fall back on. So, you know, Brenson Ribeiro has that danger factor. He's got way more athleticism, but ultimately, you know, he just almost lost a split decision striking fight to Kaya Machado. So I don't think he has very good decision equity. So if this fight is a little bit close on the feet, Daya can wrestle him. Daya can crack him. He has power. Will he get knocked out? I'm not too sure. I watched like 3-4 fights, but I taped him extensively for Contender Series. And I came out thinking he's good. You know, I didn't understand the line movement. But yeah, people always see things differently in Contender Series. So yeah, possibly a parlay piece here for DR. I think he's a good fighter, good addition to the light heavyweight division. I'll quickly touch on the unders. Yeah, the under is really not enticing because Daya could wrestle and he's very patient, and it's his debut again, so he might be patient again. So who knows? What's his KO? Wow, pick him. I don't know. Alrighty, Damon Blackshear versus Cody Gibson. I wish I taped this one a bit more. I taped a couple of fights before the early teas and then I moved on, never circled back to it. It's a shame because I know some sharps playing Cody Gibson. It makes sense, even without tape, it makes sense. I played Cody Gibson like 2 times in the UFC. He's a very good veteran. But Damon, he's improving quite a bit. So, you know, he's on the upward trajectory despite losing to Batista and Montel Jackson. I think it's just the fact that Cody's been submitted a bunch, you know. And he's old. So, but yeah, you can never trust Damon at this price. Here I'm submitted Fari Basharat too. So, what's that? The sub price is going to be horrendous because I didn't bet it against Stamen, and now it's going to be shithouse. Plus 260. Yeah. Decision is still favored, interestingly enough. What's the under? I don't mind the unders. Plus 160 for the unders. I don't mind that one bit. Plus 160. That's interesting. That hasn't moved much, which if Damon's going to cover, I would say Cody Stamen is more durable than Cody Gibson. So if Damon's going to cover this line, there's got to be some value in the under, in my opinion. So that's what I'm looking into for that one. But yeah, the one fight that's got the least amount of tape for me. Alexander Hernandez, Kurt Holobaugh. I got to be honest, Holobaugh taped this one at night on a Monday, and I got goosebumps from Kurt's fight with a Polish Brazilian fraud that they keep ignoring when they say the record of fighting nerds. And yeah, I was like, wow, he compared their 2 fights against Kurt Holobaugh. You know, Alexander Hernandez was sticking and moving and, you know, a couple of punches per round, almost lost him the fight, whereas Kurt just pressured Austin, made him panic shoot, and he just submitted him, you know. Just a grizzled vet that has heart, that still wants to be in the UFC, wants to prove himself versus, you know, Alexander Hernandez that just, after his insane start, he's looking less and less. It kind of reminds me of Cody Garbrandt. You know, they're like giving him fights to bounce back with, and he's just looking, the level of competition is dropping, and he's looking less and less impressive each time out. So, but I haven't locked it in because there's, you know, the elephant in the room is Kurt's takedown defense. He's a bit stupid as well. Like Kurt he's all gas, right? From the second he starts, constant pressure. No, sometimes you'll do a naked leg kick, instantly get taken down, even though the game plan is not to get taken down. I don't take the Trey Ogden fight too much into consideration because Trey has got elite control on top. He stood up against Hubbard easily. He stood up against Kanan. Round 3, actually, he didn't get taken down until round 3, and it took him a while to get up. He was kind of gassed, but that was insane pace on that fight. He hurt Kanan multiple times. Kanan hurt him. He still got up, unlike the Trey Ogden fight. So, it's he also got up against Thiago Moises. I thought he took a round there. I'm surprised it was 30-27. So, yeah, it's a dog or pass. This is probably the closest money line that I'm on right now. It's what I said about Ankalaev last week and a few others. So I just need to make sure and lock it in. I've actually taped a lot of fights. It could be like the Jim Miller fight. Another grizzled vet that comes forward, has power, and Alexander Hernandez is just a little bit too clean for him. Too fast. And I feel like if Kurt does crack him, Alexander's going to shoot. Like, he actually does shoot when you put him under pressure. But some fights, for example, against Austin Hubbard, he didn't really use it much. He had the speed advantage and he was comfortable outlanding Hubbard. Life and death with Hubbard is unforgivable. Well, it wasn't really life and death, man. I thought Hernandez had more of a case for 30-27 than that one judge that gave Hubbard 30-27. I think they mixed that up. Kiwi Brew, what's going on, son? Muhammad has DR minus 250, Lima minus 250, so much CLV. Oh, mate, CLV is the kiss of death these days. Sometimes not. DR could carry this later, I agree. Damon KO, round 2, round 3 sprinkles. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, 6 round, getting rinsed by Wash, Damon Jackson, and Algier, I agree. But you got to keep in mind that was at featherweight, where he's still not a trustworthy fighter at lightweight, but he's a lot more trustworthy than featherweight. That was just no point killing himself to go down to featherweight. Hello, father. Let's go, Kurt. I can't disagree. 6 round, Kurt live bet. Yeah, maybe, but Kurt, as I said, Kurt comes out super strong, and he has a really good round 1 too. Wow, the Dogfather has 4 units on Kurt. Not much motion because the line is still quite high, but yeah. It feels like Kurt is going to be my first play, let's be honest. Kurt by Cook, says Parky. Interesting. All right, good fight. Also, the under is... oh, that's right. I forgot that... my bad. I forgot that you increased. My bad. Alrighty. Yeah, so actually, cheating in Njokuani. So I mentioned that I didn't really tape Damon, but this is the other fight I didn't tape. I just taped Chitty first because I thought minus 200 for Zaleski. How much value is on that fight, really? And and then I moved on. I just never got around to it. The line's not moving. Zaleski is the better fighter. He's always been the better fighter. But, in a striking fight, 2 Muay Thai guys, Zaleski has lost these fights before. He's really good against grapplers, but he was too close against Abubakar, who dropped him in round 1. Way too close against Renard, who should have finished in round 3. Randy Brown, don't really like anyone that loses to Randy Brown, personally, even though I know he's a good fighter, and this last fighter is useless. Chitty, it's good that he's gotten his weight cut in order for welterweight, and he's really good in the clinch, so I don't know. I have to do some more digging on this one. I'm not really playing Zaleski minus 200. Not really interested. The guy's 38. Gets hurt all the time. I remember this over being completely chalked. Well, Zaleski KO is favored. Plus 175. Don't know about that. If anything, probably going to be sub. Because Chitty usually gets KO'd due to cardio and just wilting in there. Zaleski under 2.5 rounds. Not bad. Probably correlates with Zaleski, though. That's the issue. What's Zaleski inside the distance? Plus 140. Rather just play that. All right, let's move on. And the main event. As I said, I taped the first fight. I thought Roman won the first fight. I live bet him after the second, thinking he was 2-1 up. He was winning round 3 as well, and then just one of those fights with sequences where Marvin came on strong, won round 3, and then the judges all unanimously gave him round 2. I get it upon rewatch. I'm not not screaming robbery. I don't think I was hard done by or anything. Just one of those things. And yeah, I mean, I was like, no way I'm touching this fight with the layoff and Dolidze in a 5-rounder against the guy that's, shown to have more volume and output than him and better minute winning. But I mean, it's got to be dog or pass again. Like, what sort of value is Vettori going to have at this line? I'm wondering how this line has settled here at minus something and just not moved. And even more money came in on Vettori, and I regret not playing Dolidze at plus 140. I don't know if we're going to get that back. It's kind of settled back again. Hopefully on Bet Online or something last minute. Yeah, it's easy dog or pass for me. I don't know what Vettori is going to do. Especially round 1, Dolidze is quite good in round 1, round 2 when he's fresh. He slowed down in round 3 against Anthony Smith. Maybe people are taking that into consideration, not realizing that was short notice upper weight class. But yeah, dog or pass, man. Dog or pass. 5-rounders, generally really good for live betting. We see it all the time. Uncle Live and whatnot. Sparring with reality. Roman plus 145 on Bolt. I might have to look into that. Hopefully it's that on Pinnacle as well. Yeah, dog or pass. Plus 140 or nothing. I don't really like the plus 120. I have to retape that Nimo fight. Nimo fight and Hermanson fight and whatever else. Just a fight where he's like standing with a southpaw for 3 rounds. Phil Hawes, Carl Dorcas, Staropoli. He wrestled Staropoli. Yeah, that's all. All right, let's go over it and get out of here so I can cram some KSW. Only have a few hours before tomorrow. So what do we got? Duben will pass, Priscilla will pass, Barez will pass, or maybe I'll get in on some Lima sub. Luciano will pass, Musasa. Gonna look at some unders, but I'm not feeling passionately about it right now. AJ Cunningham might be a good live bet. Waldo, I mean, there's a few things I like here. The under 1.5, the under 2.5, Costa KO, Costa live bet. Who knows? Vallejos, I have to play some of these unders. But obviously correlates with Vallejos, so we shall see. Nurgozhay versus Ribeiro, yeah, maybe a parlay piece. Damon Gibson, I like the under. Gibson might have some value. Kurt is probably the one bet you'll see me lock in one way or another on fight day. If not it'll be a live bet. Zaleski, Chitty, I don't know, I guess Chitty or pass, and my Dolidze and pass. So that's what we're at. I'm going to do some more tape. I've got 2 full days, so leave a comment for some Cage Warriors. And yeah, let me read the last few comments. Mohammed, I heard the rumors of Vettori being injured still and just needing to pay. Club and sub, those rumors came from a manager. I don't know, man. Club and sub. I stopped listening to that show years ago, and I don't really like rumors from cappers on YouTube. Like 9 out of 10 times, they end up being bullshit. So, not putting a huge amount of stock on that, but agreed, it's dog or pass. Yeah. I mean, just the fact, even if he's not injured anymore, there's a fact that he still had major surgery on his shoulder and the big layoff. That alone is a crucial factor. Cheers, Kiwi. All right. Like and subscribe. Peace out.